Okay, do you know what is the meaning of phytoremediation? Okay, let's dissect the word. So it actually originates from two words, phyton, which means plant, and remediate, which means repair. Okay, so we have all types of activities, domestic, agricultural, breeding, industrial. So these activities is going to result in the production of wastewater. So this wastewater, if they are not treated, they are going to cause harm to us, be it the environment or the health. Okay, so why? Because this water will be filled with contaminants, pollutants, heavy metals. So there is a great need of managing and treating this wastewater in order to overcome the lack of clean water. Because we know the issue of water pollution is not a new issue. It has emerged long time already, and in fact the cost of the water treatment is now in an increasing trend. So to overcome these problems, we have this method called the phytoremediation. So what is that? It is actually one of the alternatives in wastewater treatment. Okay, by eliminating heavy metals, trapping harmful nutrients, and also microorganisms. So it is making use of the aquatic plants because these aquatic plants are known to be able to absorb heavy metals and also nutrients. Okay, we're talking about the harmful nutrients which is in the wastewater. So to define it, we put it this way. Phytoremediation is one of the treatment methods which uses plants for the purpose of degradation of pollute substances. So to say that these pollute substances will be degraded by means of or the presence of specific enzymes which is in plant. Okay, so this pollute substance is able to be degraded. Okay, extraction. Okay, which means these pollute substances, these pollutants is able to be extracted or taken out by the plants and therefore is able to eliminate or to get rid or to remove these pollute substances from soil and water. Okay, so we have terms like this phyto extraction. Okay, I've mentioned that just now, volatilization, which include contaminants being volatilized. Okay, jadi dia meruap dan it is being released to the atmosphere. Okay, phytostimulation, okay, which will lead to phytodegradation, which I've mentioned just now, the term degrade. Okay, another one is phytostabilization, where the contaminants are precipitated and that they are immobilized. Okay, so let's look at examples of plants, or we say what are the phytoremediation plants. So this is the picture of the pokok keladi bunting, water hyacinth, or the scientific name Iconia crassipes. Okay, so this plant has long roots. As you can see right here, the roots is able to accumulate heavy metals. Example, copper and lead in the water. All right, you get the concept. So all these the pollutants, the contaminants is attracted to the roots. Okay, and therefore this serves as an ability for the plants to absorb it, to accumulate it over here, and therefore able to remove these heavy metals from the water. Okay. Next, okay, let's look at the uses of phytoremediation in life. Okay, there's a link over here which you can click in to see the history corner of this place called the Chernobyl. Okay, Chernobyl, which is in Russia. So on 26th of April 1986, the fourth reactor nuclear power plant. Jadi ada loji nuklear di sini, tempat ini. So it exploded during a safety test. What happened is that, okay, once exploded, smoke filled with radioactive substances. Okay, and it is not confined to these nuclear plant only, but that it flew as far as 2,000 plus kilometer. So, so to say that it affects the surrounding community and a huge area, a large area of 2,000 plus kilometer. Okay, so imagine all those contaminants, all those pollutants has already escaped freely to the atmosphere, to the soils, to the environment. So here, what is being used is that sunflower. Okay, you can recognize this. This is a sunflower. So it acts as a hyper accumulator. Hyper accumulator. Also being able to accumulate or eliminate, accumulate and then eliminate these heavy metals, zinc, chromium, copper, lead, nickel, even radioactive substances like cesium and also strontium. Okay, another example is aquatic plants, water lettuce ataupun pokok kiambang, which are suitable to treat wastewater in waste plant. Okay, merawat air sisa di loji kumbahan waste plant. Okay, so this is a picture of a wastewater plant. So it is also by means of phytoremediation method where this water lettuce, the scientific name Pistia strachyites, okay, has a fast growth rate, able to accumulate heavy metals, absorb nutrients, harmful nutrients, for example, ammonia in the waste plant. Okay, another example is the water spinach. So the roots, again, the roots is the one playing role that it's able to absorb mercury from the soil. And whereas the roots of the river water spinach is said to be able to absorb heavy metals like cadmium from water. So we have seen a few examples of these phytoremediation plants. Okay, so there is these two experiments. One of it, the first one, is to study the effectiveness of phytoremediation plants in controlling water pollution. Okay, so this is one of the compulsory experiment in your syllabus. So you have hypotheses saying that the presence of this water hyacinth. Okay, so the roots of the water hyacinth, common water hyacinth, is able to absorb ammonia, which is found in lake water. So if you have to go through the procedure, okay, there will be two containers, okay, A and B, two glass of containers with 5 liters of lake water. Okay, first you have to have this water hyacinth, this phytoremediation plant, and you are to clean it, to remove the dirt and the mud, especially, okay, overall the plants and especially at the roots region here. Okay, so step number 3 is that you are to fill it with 50 ml of 10% ammonium chloride solution into each container A and B. Okay, so the technique is that you are to record the initial reading of the ammonia, okay, using ammonia test kits. Okay, and then after having recorded the initial reading, you are to put the 6 water hyacinths into container A only. Okay, into container A only and B without the water hyacinth. So it serves like a control set for us. And you are to leave both glass containers at room temperature. Okay, number 7 is that you have to record the final reading of the ammonia container A and B after 7 days using the ammonia test kits. And again, you have to record the reading of the ammonia in a table. So from here, glass container A and B, okay, tells you that the MV is the presence of water hyacinth, which is in A, the manipulated variable. Okay, beginning and also end of the experiment. So what to expect? You have to ask yourself what to expect. Okay, so this should be the predicted results. in that you compare the reading for glass container A, beginning 3 and 1. But for B, both the same. So it remains constant at 3. And so to say that the ammonia reading in container A at the end of the experiment has already reduced. Why is ammonia, the reading of it reduced in container A? And then you have to look at the manipulated variable. This must be the cause of the reduction of the reading of ammonia, and that is because of the presence of the common hyacinth. As a phytoremediation plant, okay, that means the roots of this water hyacinth is able to absorb this ammonia, resulting in the decrease of the value at the end of the experiment. Okay, question number 2. Another plant that can absorb ammonia from water is the lamna species and also the hydrilla species. Okay, so picture shown here, these are the lamna species, the lamna minor. So you can see those roots over there. Okay, so this one on the surface of the lake, that you can see the roots is beneath. These are aquatic plants. Okay, for hydrilla species, it looks like this. Okay, so both of them are the aquatic plants. Okay, so number 3, what is the effect of ammonia towards the aquatic ecosystem? So that means the harm is not only to the plants itself, but the entire ecosystem. Okay, the entire ecosystem. Of course, we have the producer, and then we have the primary consumer, secondary consumer, and then how is it going to affect the entire ecosystem, entire aquatic ecosystem? Is that it's going to disrupt the food chain in the aquatic ecosystem, because anything too excessive, too much is not good. Okay, conclusion. Look at the hypothesis. Is it going to be accepted? Okay, so proven from the results is that the roots of the common hyacinth can absorb ammonia found in the lake water, and therefore the hypothesis is accepted. Okay, there is another experiment. Okay, there is another experiment to study the effectiveness of phytoremediation plants in controlling soil contamination, and that's the kangkong, or the usage of water spinach. Okay, so the manipulated variable will be the presence of the water spinach. So this is the procedure. And number 4 here is actually the steps to determine the ammonia content in soil in 2 containers. So same as previous ones, we have 2 sets, container A and B. Container A will have this presence of water spinach, container B without the water spinach. So results here, beginning and also end of the experiment, what to expect is that at the end of the experiment, we see also the decrease in the reading of the ammonia, meaning the presence of water spinach makes difference. Okay, it is the phytoremediation plants. Okay, in this case. So there's these precautions here that the soil sample must be dried before the experiment. Okay, look at the first one. 5 kg, a thin layer of 5 kg black soil is flattened on a plastic sheath, and that it is dried using oven. So why must it be dry? Okay, we speculate that it is to remove the water content and therefore getting accurate mass of the dry soil. Also, whenever it is dry, no living things or no organisms can thrive in the soil. Okay, number 2, what is the significance of using water spinach in this experiment? Is because this plant itself can treat soil by absorbing ammonia from the soil. And so to say that it is a phytoremediation plant. So let's look at the conclusion. Is it going to be accepted by looking at the hypothesis? Compare it with the results. So to say hypothesis is accepted because the roots of the water spinach can absorb nutrients such as ammonia, okay, in this case, in the soil. Okay, now we have come to the end of the chapter. Okay, so we have discussed about the phytoremediation process. Okay, in terms of definition, define what is that. In terms of uses, soil and water pollution. Okay, also, okay, this chapter, the title is Transport in Plants, and therefore we talk about the organic materials or the substances which is traveled through the phloem, where we have sieve tube and also the companion cells forming the structure of the phloem. We have the terms translocation, okay, transporting of those organic substances. Okay, we look at the pathway. How are these organic substances traveling from where to where? And for water and mineral salts, okay, so xylem is the responsible structure which contains the xylem vessels and the tracheids. Okay, from where to where? So what's the pathway? So the roots against the gravity to the stem, to the leaves. So what's the pathway? Also, we have looked through these three actions, the mechanisms. Okay, still remember transpirational pull, capillary action, and what is root pressure. Also, under water and mineral salts transport, we talk about the water loss process, which is divided into transpiration and guttation, where you have to compare and contrast between these two processes. Okay.